Welcome back, guys, to Boats vs. Haulover, where Man and Machine take on Mother Nature down at Haulover Inlet in Miami, Florida. And if you missed the last episode, you're in for a treat. We're actually in the middle of our mid-year recap, the top 10 moments so far in 2022. Our last episode featured 6 through 10, and this is going to be your top 5 moments so far at the inlets here in 2022, and we're going to start with number 5. And here we're going to see a Regal making its way out of Haulover Inlet with a few people who've decided they were going to try and brave it out in the bow, but they're about to learn that was a poor decision. It is a rough day at Haulover. I hate seeing people in the bow to begin with, but on these kind of days, everybody thinks they're going out there. It's going to be fun. We're going to get wet, have a blast, and then things can quickly go wrong, as seen right here. Our girl winds up taking an absolute beating as she's making her way out. The first one smacks her down, but this isn't the hard one. Here in a moment, you're going to see she gets some real air and smacks down hard. This crew winds up having to make the infamous Haulover U-turn to bring her back in, but once again, just some poor choices. It's a rough day. They're not really in a boat that's designed to go out here and battle 2 to 3 foot seas. And of course, when you put people in the bow, on a situation like this, somebody's going to pay the price, and unfortunately, this young lady's the one who winds up doing it. Now, even though this young lady took a rough fall, she's not the only person we saw take a beating coming through the inlets this year, as our next contestant here at number 4 is a Robalo making their way into Haulover as well, and man, they get absolutely rocked making their way out of the inlet. And you can see here we've got a lady who winds up taking a fall into the deck of the boat, but they took such a hard hit, even the head compartment on this Robalo pops open. Even from the Wavy drone, you can really see how hard this experience is. Sometimes that camera on land just doesn't quite do it justice. And when you get this first-hand view, I mean, you feel bad for the crew that was in the bow of this boat. Unfortunately for these guys, they wound up having to make that Haulover U-turn and head back in, and I hope everybody was okay in this situation. This is going to take us to our number 3 incident on our list, which is going to be our first entrant from Boca Inlet, which is going to be a CV with a nice little crew exiting Boca. And this crew just had a great day out on Lake Boca when all of a sudden this happens. My man sitting right here in the stern of this boat winds up falling overboard as this crew tries to exit the inlet. Fortunately, somebody on the vessel sees it happen, winds up yelling for the captain to stop, and this crew is able to successfully turn around and try and pluck their friend out of the water. But this is a dangerous place to fall, as this is a heavy boat traffic area, and our guy made some poor decisions. Right here you can tell he's trying to save his phone more than trying to stay above the water. Fortunately, there were a couple jet skis in the area who come over and assist in trying to get my man pulled from the drink, while his friends in the bow of the boat go ahead and film for the gram. Now, I haven't seen that footage yet, so if somebody knows where that footage is, go ahead and post a link in the comments below, because I'd like to see the footage from the boat. Now, I know it's hard to believe, but there are 2 incidents out there that top this one, and we're going to move into number 2 now, which is actually going to keep us over at Boca Inlet. And here we're going to have a Freeman making its way into the inlet. And right here we can see things look okay, but for some reason they're not making that final turn into the rocks and into the mouth of the inlet. And right here, things apparently go wrong. Somehow this vessel has lost steering and is heading straight toward the rocks here at the mouth of Boca. This really is a very difficult situation. If you've ever been in a spot like this where all of a sudden, last second, without any warning, steering just goes out on a boat, it takes you a few seconds to try and comprehend exactly what's going on. And in those few seconds, it's almost too late in this situation where you've got wind, current, and waves all pushing you in one direction without steering, even trying to back down hard on those starboard motors. There's no way they're going to be able to pull off these rocks, and basically they become at the mercy of the sea. As can be seen here in the end, this crew winds up really wedged good and does have to wait for somebody to come tow them out. I have to imagine this is an extremely high stress situation. You're in $1 million+ boat being beaten into the rocks, and you really don't know what to expect. You can hear the fiberglass crunching under the rocks as you're on the vessel, and you're just not sure if this thing's going to hold, if it's going to wind up puncturing the fiberglass and you're going to wind up taking on water. This crew does everything they can to get ready for their tow, but it really is a tough situation. That's going to bring us to the moment you've been waiting for, and that is our number 1 spot here in the mid-year review of 2022, and it's going to bring us back over to Haulover Inlet in one of the roughest days we recorded this year. Here you can tell, if you saw the rocks as we passed by, the water line's exceptionally low, meaning we were having one of the lowest tides of the year. And on top of that, we're having high winds, heavy seas, creating the perfect storm at Haulover Inlet. This CV right here is a monstrous boat, and on a normal day would have no issues whatsoever battling Haulover Inlet. But this scene will show you that some days at Haulover it doesn't matter what boat you have, you're going to be in trouble if you're trying to make your way out of the inlet. Here we can see this crew stuff the bow several times and took several heavy poundings as they're trying to get this vessel out. And these are the kind of days that I wonder why people are even out there. I'm guessing this crew, it's not by choice. This is probably a hired crew delivering this boat somewhere else that was on some kind of timeline and kind of forced their hand on going out. But even then, it's still a captain's decision. They're the ones responsible for the vessel and the people on board the vessel, and I definitely know, me as a captain, there's no way you would have talked me into taking this vessel out of Haulover on a day like today. If I couldn't have done whatever needed to be done on this boat on the inside, it would have just stayed right where it was at whatever marina it was at. But this crew made a different decision, and they definitely paid the price for making that choice. One of the most surprising things about this situation, I never saw this boat turn around. So to my knowledge, whatever this crew decided they were going to try and do out there, they were bound and determined to continue going no matter what the conditions or the situation. So this crew just kept battling these seas as they worked their way out, which turns it into one of the wildest scenes we've seen so far in 2022. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Boats vs. Haulover and our top 10 mid-year recap list. If you did, please check out our other content. We have Wavy Boats that does all this great stuff down at Haulover and Boca Inlets. My channel, Broncos Guru, do some great comedy boating videos there as well. And of course, we've got the Miami Boat Ramps channel that focuses on all the hilarity that happens at the boat ramps around South Florida. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here, and we'll go ahead and leave you guys with a few extra clips that were kind of some close calls to making the list, but just didn't quite make the cut here at the end.